Hello, everyone. My name is Igor Tomic, and today we are on Money 2020, and we are conducting interviews. And I'm pleased to introduce Barry O'Sullivan, who is Chief Banking Officer at OpenPayd. And hello, Barry. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. We will not take a lot of your time, and we have some questions that we would like to discuss with you. Your platform is well known for the unified APIs. And one of the first questions, there are a lot of speculations and definitions one API stop shop means.
Yeah.
So in this case, how do you find, because basically your platform is doing all the behind the scenes integrations and heavy lifting, but what does it mean for the customers? Like what it means in terms of unified experience for the customers of yours?
Look, for customers of ours, they can integrate to us via a single API, as you've said, and then they can pick and choose really what type of financial instrument they need. Typically, companies will come to us because they want virtual accounts, and they want to be able to pay or pay out or collect funds in from their customers, and they can integrate to us, and then our orchestration layer will sit on top of all of our financial institution partners. In terms of the offering to our customers, I guess it's the question of how many partners you need. It's how long's a piece of string, right? Because you need enough partners to be able to service your clients in the way that they need. And where our customer base is in demand for instant rails, instant ways for their customers to pay or be paid, that obviously doesn't lie with one bank. There's no bank around the world that has access to all the markets and can do that. For us, integrating into as many banks as possible around the world to give our client that instant feel, that's really where we sit. And then we obviously take all the complexities and the challenges of regulatory compliance framework and others to build that layer so that our customers then are just experiencing one thing with us, which is a single API access to the whole depth of our relationships.
That's definitely an issue for the customers, because if you would like to build own orchestrator, sometimes it takes time and the knowledge, and hooking up to the platform that works and know how properly scale it is really essential.
And we know how hard that is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So going out to find those partners, to network with them, to build that relationship, to onboard with them, to build the integrations, it's complex. And we take away that complexity and give somebody something very simple.
Yeah, that's sometimes that people underestimate, because it's like the slogan, we're doing it not because it's easy, because we assumed it's easy.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the complexity that OpenPayd is taking out.
Absolutely.
So that's really good. And half of your client list actually the crypto native platforms like Kraken, OKX, and B2C2. So in terms of across the book, what do you think traditional rails still beat stablecoin? Because there are still some discussion between fiat and crypto. So what do you think there is an advantage?
Do you know what? It's not beating. Yeah. It's together, right? We have a lot of our client base. Obviously, your end customers will want a way to do something with you. So if we look at, say, the crypto exchanges, you have your end customer, let's say in the UK, they want to buy crypto from you, but how do they do that? And you need the infrastructure in fiat, right? Because you want to make it as simple as possible. Yeah. If you didn't have that structure in place where you had that infrastructure for fiat flow, how does a customer really go and then buy crypto from you? It becomes really complex. So for us, it's building that financial infrastructure for fiat, also when we link it to our own digital asset rails, and the two work together in harmony. In terms of the use cases against the two, I don't see a use case for stablecoins really when you're talking about instant payments in domestic. Why would you need a stablecoin to do a faster payment in the UK when it's instant?
Yeah.
However, I do see the use case in global transactions. If we have a customer that's in the UK and they want to make a payment out into LATAM, how do they do that where we don't have to have, say, banking infrastructure locally where we're holding pools of liquidity and we can pay out? Or we can use stablecoins to convert from one currency into the stablecoin and back out to the other fiat leg. And it's all done then instantly through both instant rails with a stablecoin in the middle. So I think for me, it really is the marry of the two rather than one competing against the other.
Definitely, that's a non-zero sum game, because in this case, adding one from crypto and adding one from fiat makes three as the total sum. So it's definitely there. And another question which I think is really important, if right now we're seeing that the platforms, they're unified, and in 5 years, potentially we see this unified platform for everything. And it's kind of happening right now because there is really hard to say the difference between crypto brokerage and then neo-banking and then wealth management. Everything is becoming like super apps. What do you think, what are the platforms, or who is going to be the main customer handholder? Because who is owning the customer in this infrastructure?
For me, look, it's ultimately the brand that's delivering the service. Yeah. We're the infrastructure provider. We usually sit underneath and we are invisible. And it's a funny thing, you know, you come to Money 2020, you're all shouting about your solution, how great you are, but ideally you're building something that's very quiet in the background. Everyone has a part to play, and this is all partnership related. I don't believe one person will own everything. Because acquiring works in a very different way to payments in terms of global payouts, and the digital asset part is that you will need the different partnerships that you have, the key banking relationships that cover the complexity and the regulatory. You've got the you know, the digital asset rails that we have. We've got the fiat rails.
In the modern world, like when, as you said, the brand are building, I think the main question is going to be the trust. And do you think it's different because building the trust in B2C, when you're providing the final services to your customers, infrastructure will build own credibility as trust for vendors like OpenPayd to unify it rather than building your own, because that's always the option and the thought of any business. Like, do we need to own the whole end-to-end stack, or we can partnership and kind of go faster to the market with the solution?
No, exactly that. If you are a brand and you're trying to building a network, building that infrastructure across all things is very complex, very time consuming. Working with an infrastructure provider like OpenPayd means that we've done all the heavy lifting. We've done the regulatory, the work from a regulatory compliance. We've gone into markets. We've opened up banking relationships. And ultimately, I think partnerships is key. We're not going to own it all ourselves either. We're not going to build the acquiring and everything, but having the partnerships where we can scale. But ultimately, the brand itself owns the customer, right? They are the ones that are providing that trust to their own customer that they're getting a service through them. And likewise, then we are the trust behind the infrastructure for our partners. So when partners look to integrate to us, they trust us that we've built the right foundations, we have the right infrastructure in place, so that they know all they need to do is service their customer. We should be invisible in the background and take away all that headache from them. You know, we deal with the issues, we deal with the challenges we have with going into new markets, so that they know that I can service my customer in the way I need to and not have to worry about the rails underneath it.
Thank you for all the answers and for your time today. It was a pleasure to discuss with you, and thank you for sharing your experience.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers. Take care.